Superstar rapper Kendrick Lamar seemingly reignited an old rivalry with Drake during his explosive 2025 Super Bowl halftime show. But how is Drake taking it? Let's dive right in. The Super Bowl is the biggest event on television each year, and 2025 was no exception. Fans flocked to New Orleans for the high-stakes championship between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. While the game itself was nothing short of thrilling, the halftime performance by Kendrick Lamar stole a huge portion of the spotlight. The Grammy-winning rapper delivered a medley of his hits, showcasing his lyrical prowess, unique stage production, and dynamic showmanship. But it wasn't just the performance alone that caught everyone's attention. It was the subliminal and not-so-subliminal jabs at a certain Canadian rapper known for chart-topping hits, emotional lyricism, and pop culture dominance: Drake. According to fans and pundits alike, Kendrick Lamar's outfit, his lyrical ad-libs, and even his guest appearances pointed towards some not-so-subtle references to his long-standing rivalry with Drake. One of the most talked-about aspects of the performance was Kendrick's flashy, diamond-crusted necklace. Why a necklace? Well, it appears this accessory might be a nod to a lyric from Kendrick's track Not Like Us, where he calls out an unnamed rival for being too certified, but lacking in authenticity. Many people believe that lyric was aimed at Drake, referencing his album Certified Lover Boy and his brand of R&B-laced rap. Fans also noted that during Kendrick's performance, background visuals flashed the phrase "not like us" multiple times in stylized text, leading many to believe he was drawing a clear line in the sand. "They are not like us," an apparent dig directed at Drake. Before we get into how Drake responded, let's unpack the history of this feud. Drake and Kendrick Lamar have long been considered two of the most influential rappers of their generation. Both came up around the same time. Drake broke out in 2009 with his mixtape, So, Far Gone, and quickly became a global superstar. Kendrick followed with a more underground path, eventually releasing critically acclaimed albums like Good Kid, M.A.'d City, and To Pimp a Butterfly. Rumors of tension began to swirl years ago when both artists started vying for the top spot in hip-hop. The rivalry heated up when Kendrick called out a list of peers on Big Sean's track Control. Although Drake wasn't called out by name in that specific verse, he certainly seemed to be in the crosshairs of Kendrick's competitive spirit. Over the years, fans have dissected lyrics from both sides, searching for cryptic references to one another. Even though neither Drake nor Kendrick has openly admitted a feud, these subtle and sometimes not-so-subtle jabs keep fans guessing. Fast forward to 2025, Kendrick Lamar lands one of the most coveted gigs in music, the Super Bowl halftime show. It's his chance to entertain millions of viewers worldwide and showcase the unstoppable nature of his musical evolution. True to form, Kendrick didn't hold back. A black and gold ensemble layered with a custom diamond necklace. Fans believe the necklace's design and the glistening stones were a nod to a line referencing opulence and authenticity, traits that Kendrick challenges others to match. This one had everybody talking. Kendrick brought out tennis legend Serena Williams, who has been linked to Drake in the past. The camera zoomed in as Serena strutted across the stage to Money Trees, one of Kendrick's iconic tracks. The significance? Serena was rumored to have dated Drake around 2015, making her cameo feel like another subtle jab. Throughout the performance, phrases like, "they not like us," and "be careful who you challenge" flashed on giant LED screens as pyrotechnics and dancers brought energy to the stage. If there's one name that stands out in this entire situation, aside from Kendrick and Drake, it's Serena Williams. Her brief but impactful appearance during the halftime show instantly sent social media into a frenzy. Why? Because Serena and Drake allegedly had a romantic relationship back in 2015. The two were spotted together multiple times, fueling dating rumors for months. Now, fast forward to 2025, Serena makes a cameo during Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime show, one that many believe was meant to underscore Kendrick's message. He can bring out one of Drake's exes to support him on the biggest stage of all. Talk about a power move. Though Serena has kept her personal life relatively private, her presence was a statement in itself. It was a moment that fueled speculation. Was she there simply because she's a big Kendrick fan, or did her appearance symbolize taking sides in this ongoing rivalry? This isn't the first time Serena Williams has commented, albeit indirectly, on the Drake-Kendrick conflict. Back in 2024, at the ESPY Awards, she reportedly joked about how none of us, not a single one of us, should ever pick a fight with Kendrick Lamar. She added that he would make your own hometown not like you, referencing how powerful Kendrick's diss tracks can be. Some interpret this as Serena publicly siding with Kendrick, or at least acknowledging Kendrick's reputation for lyrical takedowns. The transcript from that ESP Awards speech circulated widely on social media, with fans connecting the dots between her statement and the ongoing rivalry. So, while all this was happening during the Super Bowl halftime show, Kendrick's jabs, the Serena cameo, and those cryptic messages, where was Drake? Instead of tuning in to watch the Eagles take on the Chiefs, Drake was on stage in Melbourne, Australia, performing for thousands of his own fans. Despite the media whirlwind, Drake showed no apparent sign of concern. In fact, the very next day, he posted clips from his show and the after party on his Instagram story. In one of these clips, you can see the crowd chanting his name and dancing under purple lights. He appeared relaxed, smiling, and completely immersed in his Australian tour, dubbed the Anita Max Win Tour. Fans quickly picked up on Drake's apparent calm. Many took this as a sign that Kendrick's halftime references didn't faze him, or that Drake has chosen to avoid engaging directly in a public feud. The overarching sentiment? Drake might be opting to let his music and success speak for themselves rather than fueling the fire. The internet, of course, had a lot to say about all of this. Twitter exploded with opinions. Some fans applauded Kendrick for calling out Drake so openly, praising his guts for staging what looked like a well-orchestrated series of nods and references to their feud. Others felt that Kendrick was simply fueling a rivalry that Drake had moved on from, pointing to Drake's global success and somewhat more mainstream pop direction in recent years. Drake's fans commended the Canadian rapper's nonchalance, claiming that his lack of reaction is the best form of response. Meanwhile, entertainment outlets dissected every moment of Kendrick's performance, from the lyrics that may have been tweaked to reference Drake's discography, to the possibility that certain lighting cues were timed to match lines about betrayal or competition. One phrase that keeps popping up in this entire saga is "not like us." It's a line from Kendrick's track, which fans believe is a direct dig at Drake. The lyric itself suggests that Kendrick sees himself and his circle as more authentic, more lyrically driven, and perhaps more critically acclaimed. Drake, meanwhile, is often criticized by some hip-hop purists for being too commercial or too reliant on pop crossovers. During the halftime show, those three words, "not like us," lit up the jumbotrons in bold text, repeated over and over as Kendrick went into a spirited dance break. Dancers surrounded him, forming a circle, almost as though they were symbolically shutting out anyone who didn't meet their standard. Many watchers and social media users interpret this as a clear message. Drake is on the outside of Kendrick's circle of musical authenticity. Yet Drake's reaction, or lack thereof, suggests that he doesn't feel threatened by Kendrick's claims. His decision to perform on the other side of the globe during the Super Bowl might have been coincidental due to scheduling, or possibly a calculated move to illustrate he's in his own lane, unaffected by the drama. Another intriguing angle is the idea that Kendrick wants to turn Drake's hometown of Toronto against him. During the performance, Kendrick joked about how the next time Drake sits courtside at a Toronto Raptors game, they might Forrest Gump him, implying they'd make him run right out of the building. This statement drew laughter but also raised eyebrows among fans. Is Kendrick suggesting he has the power to influence the sentiment in Drake's own backyard? It might sound far-fetched, but Drake has become synonymous with Toronto's sports culture. He's often seen on the sidelines of Raptors games and even holds an official ambassador role with the team. Suggesting that Toronto fans would turn on him is a big claim. Yet so far, there is no evidence of any shift in the city's loyalty to Drake. If anything, Drake remains a local hero, having consistently promoted Toronto's global image through his music, festivals, and philanthropic work. With tensions once again in the public eye, the question becomes, where does this all lead? Will Drake pen a direct response in a new track, or will Kendrick continue to include subtle references in future performances? Historically, both artists have avoided releasing obvious diss tracks aimed directly at each other. They have, however, peppered their albums and guest verses with suggestive lines that fans eagerly comb through for hidden meaning. In 2023, Drake made headlines for a line many interpreted as referencing Kendrick's Pulitzer Prize win. That line was never confirmed to be about Kendrick, but the speculation alone kept the rivalry alive. Now, with the Super Bowl halftime performance, Kendrick may have elevated the feud to a new level, going beyond studio tracks and into the realm of massive live performances. Yet Drake's response, or rather his lack thereof, remains to be fully seen. For now, the world can only watch, wait, and analyze cryptic social media posts and subtle lyrics. Whether or not you believe Kendrick's performance was a direct assault on Drake, one thing is certain: Kendrick knows how to make a statement. He utilized the biggest stage in sports to potentially reignite the conversation around their rivalry, and fans are eating it up. Meanwhile, Drake, halfway across the planet, continues selling out shows, sharing celebratory clips online, and retaining his cool composure. At the end of the day, both Kendrick Lamar and Drake are at the pinnacle of their careers. They've each secured Grammy wins, chart-topping albums, and massive global followings. Some argue that healthy competition is good for hip-hop. It pushes artists to sharpen their craft, deliver more potent lyrics, and keep audiences engaged. Others feel that these feuds can become overly sensational, overshadowing the music itself. What do you think? Is Drake truly unbothered, or is his silence part of a calculated strategy to keep the upper hand? And did Kendrick Lamar's halftime show cross a line, or was it just good entertainment with a dash of rivalry? Whatever your take, this story is far from over. That's all we have for you on this saga, at least for now. If you're craving more details, keep an eye on social media, where fans are dissecting every second of both Drake's Melbourne performance and Kendrick's halftime show. You never know when a single Instagram comment, a cryptic lyric in a new song, or another surprise cameo might turn this spark into a full-blown fire. For now, we'll let the music speak for itself.